I used to add 3 different products to my thin hair every morning and still end up with a flat, lifeless mess by noon. Nobody told me the products weren't the problem. Today I'm walking you through 4 steps that actually change how thin hair behaves. Not another volumizing spray that promises the world and does nothing. These are the exact adjustments that make fine hair read as fuller, healthier, and more alive, starting from the very first step in your routine. I researched the worst styling mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50 so you get real results, fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. Washing your hair the wrong way is flattening it before you even style it. Here's something most women never hear from their stylist. The conditioner you use, and where you put it, might be the single biggest reason your hair falls flat by mid-morning. Heavy conditioners coat the hair shaft from root to tip, and on thin hair, that weight collapses volume before you've even picked up a brush. If you've ever wondered why your hair looks fuller the day after washing than it does right after, this is why. The fix is root-focused conditioning. You only apply conditioner from the mid-shaft down to the ends, never near the scalp. Ask your stylist for this exact phrase. I want a volumizing conditioner applied mid-shaft to ends only, nothing at the root. That single sentence changes how a professional treats your hair in the chair. And it's the same rule to follow at home in the shower. The roots stay light and unweighted, which is where all your volume potential actually lives. Everything above the mid-shaft should feel almost bare when you rinse. There's a second layer to this most women skip entirely. The order you rinse in matters. Cool water at the very end, even just 15 seconds of it, closes the cuticle and keeps strands from clumping together as they dry. Clumped strands read as fewer strands, and fewer strands reads as thin. This isn't about washing less or more. It's about controlling exactly where the product sits on the hair shaft. Once you start conditioning this way, the difference shows up somewhere you wouldn't expect, in how your part looks by 2 in the afternoon. Roots that aren't weighted down stay lifted for hours longer, so instead of a visible scalp line creeping in by lunch, your part stays soft and full looking well into the evening. People stop noticing your hair as thin and start noticing it as textured, which is a completely different read at a glance. The swap is simple to hold on to. Heavy, all-over conditioning that flattens the crown. Replace with root-free, mid-shaft down conditioning that protects your volume from the very first step of your routine. Get this one wrong, and every styling step after it is fighting an uphill battle. Get it right, and step 2 becomes almost effortless. And that next step is the one nobody tells you actually matters more than the blow dryer itself. Part 2. Drying your hair upside right is working against gravity, not with it. Most women dry their hair in the exact same position they're going to wear it in, which sounds logical until you understand what gravity actually does to wet, thin hair. Wet hair is heaviest at the root, and if you dry it pointing straight down, you're training every strand to lie flat before it's even dry. Fine hair takes the shape it's dried in far more than thick hair does, so this one habit compounds every single day. The fix is root lift drying, and it's simpler than it sounds. Flip your head forward for the first 60 seconds only, drying just the roots in the opposite direction they'll fall, then flip back up and finish drying the mid-lengths and ends in their natural direction. Tell your stylist, dry my roots lifted first, then finish the ends smooth. That phrase alone tells them you understand your hair's actual mechanics, not just the end result you want. The roots set with lift built in before gravity gets the chance to flatten them. A round brush with a smaller barrel does more work here than people assume. Smaller barrels create tighter lift at the root without adding curl through the mid-lengths, which matters because thin hair doesn't hold a large, loose bend the way thicker hair does. It just falls back out within the hour. The brush lifts, the dryer sets, and the shape holds because you worked with the hair's actual weight distribution instead of against it. Here's the result you're actually after. This is the difference between hair that looks styled and hair that looks merely dry. Root lift built in at the drying stage lasts through the entire day, not just the first hour after you leave the bathroom. That's the gap most thin hair routines miss entirely. They chase volume with product instead of building it structurally while the hair is still wet and shapeable. The swap here is direct. Hair dried pointing straight down against gravity, replace with roots lifted forward first, then finish smooth. Once your roots hold their own shape, you stop needing to rescue your volume by early afternoon. But even perfect root lift can be undone by one product choice most women make without a second thought. And that's exactly where we're headed next. Part 3. The wrong product is quietly weighing down everything you just built. This one catches almost everyone off guard. Most volumizing products marketed to women over 50 are actually too heavy for genuinely thin hair. They're formulated with the same silicones and polymers used in products for thick, coarse hair, just in smaller bottles with softer packaging. You can do everything right at the root and still lose it all if the product you reach for afterward isn't built for fine strands specifically. The fix is switching to a lightweight, root-targeted mousse instead of a cream or serum-based volumizer. Mousse distributes air into the hair shaft rather than coating it in weight, which is exactly what fine hair needs. Ask specifically for this at the salon or when shopping. I need a lightweight mousse for fine hair, applied at the roots only, nothing silicone heavy through the lengths. That phrase separates products built for volume from products built for shine and smoothness, which are two completely different jobs. Application matters as much as the product itself. A golf ball-sized amount worked only into damp roots, never through the ends, is enough. More than that and you're right back to the same flattening problem from the wrong conditioner. Let it sit for a moment before you start drying, so it has time to lift the roots rather than just sitting on the surface waiting to be blow-dried away. Here's what changes once the product matches the hair type instead of just the age group on the label. Volume holds through humidity, through a full day of errands, through the exact conditions that used to collapse it by noon. That's the real marker of success here. Not how full your hair looks right after styling, but how full it still looks 8 hours later when you catch your reflection in a shop window. The swap. Heavy, silicone-based volumizing cream through the lengths, replace with lightweight root-only mousse that lifts instead of coats. Get the product right, and the first 2 steps finally get to do their job without being undone by 4 in the afternoon. There's still one more piece most women never think to touch though, and it's not a product at all. Part 4. Your haircut itself might be canceling out everything you've fixed so far. Here's the part that surprises people most. You can master the wash, the dry, and the product, and still fight flatness every single day if your cut is working against you. A blunt, one-length cut distributes weight evenly across the ends, which sounds harmless until you realize evenly distributed weight is exactly what pulls thin hair down and flat. The cut itself can be the quiet root of the whole problem. The fix is asking for internal layering rather than a blunt cut, specifically layers cut through the interior of the hair rather than at the visible perimeter. This removes weight from underneath without shortening the overall shape, so the top layers have less pull holding them down. The exact phrase to bring to your next appointment is this: cut internal layers only, keep the perimeter length the same. I want to remove weight from underneath. That sentence tells your stylist precisely what result you're after without risking a length you didn't ask for. The placement of those layers matters too. Layers started too high, near the crown, can create the opposite problem. Flyaway pieces that stick straight up rather than lifting naturally. Layers should typically begin around cheekbone level, or just below, so they release weight gradually rather than all at once near the root. Once the internal weight is gone, something shifts that goes beyond just how your hair looks in the mirror. Your styling routine gets shorter, not longer. Hair with the right internal structure holds shape with less product and less heat, because the cut itself is doing part of the volume work instead of leaving all of it to your dryer and mousse. That's the real payoff of getting this step right. Less effort for a better result, every single morning. The swap. A blunt, one-length cut that pulls hair flat under its own weight. Replace with internal layering starting at cheekbone level that lifts from underneath. All 4 of these steps work together. The wash that protects your roots, the dry that builds lift while hair is shapeable, the product that holds without weighing down, and the cut that removes the pull working against all 3. Put them together, and thin hair stops being something you manage and starts being something you actually style. You now know exactly why thin hair goes flat, and exactly how to stop it at every stage. The wash, the dry, the product, and the cut. That's not a small thing to walk away with. Most women go their whole lives never hearing a single one of these 4 fixes explained clearly. Tell me in the comments which of these 4 steps you're trying first, the root-only conditioner or the internal layering, because I want to know what's been the biggest surprise. Next week I'm breaking down the exact haircuts that add the most visible volume for women with thin hair specifically. like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.